Hello and welcome to This Week in Destiny for the final week of Season of Plunder, commencing November 29th, 2022. The final featured Nightfall will be the Fallen Saber over on the Cosmodrome. This is where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 100k or more. This Nightfall is a free-to-play Nightfall. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and ascendant shards. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grandmasters. Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 3 barrier champions and 7 overload, with 7 void and 12 arc shields. Master and GMs will have 6 barrier and 12 overloads, with 3 void and 2 arc shields. Be aware that the Fallen Saber does have solar shields when and if Hot Knife is an active modifier, giving all Shanks solar shields. Your Grandmaster modifiers will be Arachno, when defeated, Fallen Vandals spawn a web mine under feet, barrier and overload champions, which cannot be stopped without the correct mods equipped, Chafe, radar is disabled. Your Grandmaster modifiers are Contest, Join in Progress disabled, Lock loadouts, Match game, and extra shields. Match game is enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elemental damage. Equipment locked, you will not be able to change your equipment after the activity has started. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, everyone is returned to orbit. Limited fire team revives, and you gain additional revives by defeating champions up to a maximum of 20. Champions mob, this mode contains additional champions. And acute arc burn. 50% extra incoming arc and environmental damage is increased, but 25 bonus arc damage dealt to enemies. The power requirement this season to enter the gems are 1595 light, which is also what your power is capped at, and the enemy's power will be 1620. Your anti-champion artifact mods for this week are Anti-barrier auto rifle and scout for 1 energy, and further over we have sniper for 6. Overload are bow and machine guns for 1 energy, and the arc grenade mod surge detonators for 2 energy. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with the intrinsic mods as well. So for anti-barrier we have the kinetic bow Wishender, the kinetic linear fusion rifle Arbalest, the solar energy hand cannon Ariana's Vow, the solar heavy sword the Lament, and the Titan exotic gauntlet Second Chance, which gain a second charge of your shield throw melee, which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. For overload we have the Void Energy Bow Le Monarch, the Arc Energy Linear Trace Rifle Divinity, the Arc Heavy Machine Gun Thunderlord, and the Warlock exotic boots the Secant Filaments, which when you drop an empowering rift, any weapon that is fired from inside the well will cause an overload champion to be stunned. The featured weapon to obtain next week will be the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Duty Bound. This will be the last time that this weapon will be available as it is being vaulted after this season. This weapon has a base impact of 21, base range of 36, stability of 39, and an aim assist of 73. It can roll with Vorpal, Frenzy, Rampage, and Dynamic Sway Reduction, with Zen Moment, Triple Tap, Perpetual Motion, and Steady Hands. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion, you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen, and improves your recovery for a short duration. And Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health.
And you can light them up when Team Scorch returns to the Crucible.
Delightful!
Team Scorch is a 6v6 PvP mode where all players wield a Scorch Cannon. Equipped weapons and abilities cannot be used in this game mode. Movement abilities, e.g. lift, jump and glide, sprinting and emotes can be used. Players are forced to use a Scorch Cannon which cannot be dropped. The Scorch Cannon has 100 ammo which is replenished on respawn. Matches have a 7-minute timer. Players have a 3-second respawn timer. Kills give plus 1 point each. The first team to reach 60 points wins. If the timer runs out before the team reaches 50 points, the team with the largest score wins. The player's current and longest kill streak are shown at the top of the screen below the score.
And this will be the last week of Trials of Osiris before the new season. This will be the last time to finish off Saint 14's reward track and collect any loose engrams. As a reminder, Trials of Osiris is a 3v3 PvP high stakes variant of elimination. Only available on Friday reset until Tuesday weekly reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have their games tracked through a passage, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hangar of the tower. Winning rounds and matches in Trials will grant exclusive weapons, armour, Pinnacle gear, Masterwork materials, and even Adept gear for the most skilled players who can reach the Lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won with no losses. 5-round wins will bag you that match for your passage card. By competing in Trials, you do have a chance to pick up 2 Pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50-round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset. The Pinnacle dungeon for next week will be the Prophecy in the Legends tab, and your Pinnacle raid will be the Vow of the Disciple over on the Throne World, where the Collective Obligation Exotic Void Pulse Rifle will be available to farm. Next up, challenges. We have now had all 78 challenges over the first 10 weeks of the season, though as a reminder, if you complete 75 out of the 78 available for this season, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store. Speaking of Bright Dust, onto our final Eververse of the season for the week of November 29th, 2022. Available this week for Bright Dust, we have the Omen of Saturn Exotic Sparrow for 2,500 Bright Dust, the Grim Hunter Exotic Weapon Ornament for the Leviathan's Breath for 1,250 Bright Dust, the Hazardous Ghost Projection for 1,500 Bright Dust, the Welded Brass Legendary Shader for 300 Bright Dust, the Fiddler's Dance Exotic Emote for 3,250 Bright Dust, the Great Stuff Legendary Dance Emote for 700 Bright Dust, the Lightweight Custom Exotic Sparrow for 2,500 Bright Dust, the Xenothalassic Voyage Exotic Ship for 2,000 Bright Dust, the Charmed I'm Sure Ornament for the Hunter Exotic Gauntlets Liar's Handshake, the Mind Vault Ornament for the Titan Exotic Helmet Insurmountable Skullfort, and the Induction Ceremony Ornament for the Warlock's Exotic Chest Piece Storm Dancer's Brace for 1,500 Bright Dust. The Honours of the Empress Exotic Weapon Ornament for the Skyburner's Oath for 1,250 Bright Dust. And rounding out the Bright Dust offerings in the Eververse store will be the Moonbound Ghost Projection for 1,500 Bright Dust. And then finally, the Lost Sector rotation for this week.
Hello!
As a reminder, your daily Lost Sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of champions and burns you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or you're using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the Lost Sector normally to have it show up on your map as a Legend/Master. Tuesday, November 29th will be the Excavation Site 12 on the EDZ for Exotic Boots, Arc Elemental Shields, Solar Burn with Unstoppable and Barrier Champions. Wednesday, November 30th will be the Concealed Void on Europa for Exotic Gauntlets, Solar and Void Elemental Shields, Solar Burn with Overload and Barrier Champions. Thursday, December 1st will be the Bunker E15 on Europa for Exotic Chests, Void Elemental Shields, Void Burn with Overload and Barrier Champions. Friday, December 2nd will be the Petition on Europa for Exotic Helmets, Arc and Void Elemental Shields, Arc Burn with Overload and Barrier Champions. Saturday, December 3rd will be the Conflux on Nessus for Exotic Boots, Void Elemental Shields with a Solar Burn with Unstoppable and Barrier Champions. Sunday, December 4th will be the K1 Crew Quarters on the Moon for Exotic Gauntlets, Solar Elemental Shields, and Arc Burn with Overload and Barrier Champions. And finally, back round to Monday, December 5th will be the K1 Logistics on the Moon for Exotic Chests, Solar and Arc Elemental Shields, Void Burn with Overload and Barrier Champions. Before you go, I just want to remind you to collect all your reward track items and engrams from the Gunsmith, Shax, Zavala, Drifter, and Saint 14 before the end of the season, as they will reset and you will lose all items when the new season starts. And for the final week, we will also see the return of double XP across all playlists. Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. So if you need that extra boost to get your rank reset or Crime Mutiny Grenade Launcher and Ornament, then this will be a good time to do that. And that's it for This Week in Destiny, starting on November 29th, 2022. If you like the video, then please drop us a like and follow. Big thank you to Kyber's Corner for the Nightfall information, Today in Destiny for the Eververse and Lost Sector information, and Light.gg for the challenges. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next season. Goodbye.